Now we're going to be going over the first player that could the Lions re-sign this player? Now this is the first guy we're talking about in this series. I don't know what I'm going to name this series. This is what I'm calling it. We're not going to talk a lot of guys that the Lions could bring back because we have around 25 plus free agents that the Lions have to make a decision on. And I'm just not talking about every single one, especially with only a week remaining. So Carlton Davis is one of the 5, 6, 7 guys we will talk about. Now Carlton Davis had his breakout year, in my opinion, had his best career season this past season with the Lions. Again, we traded back for him when the first day of the tampering period. We traded for Carlton Davis with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for a third-round pick. We got Carlton Davis and 2 sixth-round picks back in return. Carlton Davis, his best career season, 6'1", 206, is only 28 years old, even though he's been in the league, it feels like forever. He will be turning 29 at the end of next season. From Auburn, got drafted back in 2018, round 2, pick 63 overall by the Buccaneers. He's played 7 seasons in the NFL. Very good season, like I said. First year with the Buccaneers, played 13 games, forced fumble recovery, 4 passes deflected. Then 2019, 14 games played, forced fumble recovery, 1 interception, had an insane 19 passes deflected, defensed. 2020, played 14 games, 4 picks, 18 passes defensed. 2021 only played 10 games, missed 7 because that was a 17-game season. Fumble recovery, interception, 11 passes defensed. 22, 13 games played, missed 4. Forced fumble, a fumble recovery, and an interception. 12 passes defensed. 2023, probably one of the worst seasons with the Bucs. 12 games played, missed 5. 2 interceptions. And 9 passes defense. Still was pretty solid though. Then he got traded to us, obviously. Became our number 1 cornerback and absolutely balled out. He was a lockdown cornerback for us, in my opinion, when he was out there. Played 13 games, missed 4, had a forced fumble, 2 fumble recoveries, 2 interceptions, and 11 passes defensed. In my opinion, if I'm the Lions, Carlton Davis is the toughest decision you're going to have to make it this offseason. Simply because he is on the Lions, and simply because he's going to demand a lot of money, in my opinion. When I traded for him, in my thumbnail, which were the horrible thumbnails at the time, I've improved so much from that. I'm still hopefully going to improve because I'm going to change it again this offseason, I think. But Carlton Davis, in my thumbnail when I said him, I said, could the Lions get the lockdown cornerback of the future? It was something like that. I think the Lions got the new lockdown cornerback of the future. And I really did believe that at the time. And he absolutely proved it for us this season. You watch the film from when he was out there and when he was not. Completely different game. When he was out there, completely changed secondary. When he was not out there, completely changed secondary in a bad way. When he was out there, completely changed secondary in a good way. He was phenomenal when he was out there this season. Breaking up a whole bunch of balls, locking down wide receivers. He was phenomenal. He is arguably the reason, besides Jake Bates, why we beat the Houston Texans in Week 10. He is the reason that helped us win that game. He is a guy, in my opinion, that is the toughest decision for the Lions to make this offseason. Now, with the cap raising, with us releasing Jalen Reeves-Maybin, we now have more salary cap. We have $55 million to spend this offseason, which leaves it a little bit easier to give money to Carlton Davis and leaves some left over. Carlton Davis' market value, 3 years, $41.3 million. That's $13.8 million a season. That put him 13th among all corners, which is very solid, and 161 in the NFL rank. Carlton Davis, matter of fact, let's take a look at when he signed his contract back in 2022, signed the extension with the Bucs. He signed a 3-year, $44.5 million deal. Again, let's take a look at his market value this season. It's actually less than what his extension was then. So, in my opinion, the Lions really, I think, have to consider re-signing him. Now, you can make the point that the Lions don't need him for the cornerback room. Cornerback room, this is what it's looking like right now for the guys who are under the contract under the making of this video, which is Sunday. Sunday. Taron Arnold, if Carlton Davis would leave, would be CB1. Robertson would be CB2, and Rakestraw would be CB3. You have Stanley Thomas Oliver, Maurice Norris under contract. Besides that, Kendall Vildor will be a free agent. Mosley will be a free agent. Davis will be a free agent. There's a couple other guys I'm missing as well. Will be free agents. So there's going to be a lot of turnaround in that cornerback room this offseason. But The fact that we might not need Carlton Davis is because I think Terran Arnold will take the leap next year, like we drafted him at. And Rakestraw is still extremely young. You got to get those guys playing time. Robertson's still very young as well. He's only 27. So you still got to get those guys playing time. But in my opinion, I think you got to bring back Carlton Davis. When the season ended, I'm like, nah, we got to let him walk because of the cap situation we're in. That way we can go pay a guy like Josh Sweat or, somebody like that. But in my opinion, we don't need to do that. We don't need to do that this offseason. This is a very reasonable market value for Carlton Davis, who is a lockdown cornerback in my opinion. We also have Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph in the secondary under contract. I think we'll also bring back Fatu Molofanu, which will even secure that secondary even more. So in my opinion, the Lions, even though in my opinion, when the season ended almost 2 months ago now, that the Lions needed to bring back, or did not need to bring back Carlton Davis. But in my opinion has changed. I think we need to bring him back. And I think we need to give him exactly what that contract is. I'm not giving him a 4-year deal because that means he'd be 32 once his contract is up. But give him a 2 or 3 year deal. I'm not mad if you give him a 2-year deal. He, in my opinion, is probably going to come in at a 3 or 4. But if you can get him for his market value, 3 years, $41.3 million, sign me up. The Lions have to make a decision on Carlton Davis. And he is one, in my opinion, that the Lions absolutely need to bring back. I want to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Leave them down below. Or do you think the Lions should just go pay that money elsewhere, bring back Zeitler, go sign a guy like Malcolm Kuntz or somebody like that? Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. One Pride, go on.